Hello and welcome to Focus Friday. I am Dan Mickle, your host. Focus Friday is a weekly vlog dedicated to helping start conversations in the coaching and educational spaces. Focus Fridays are brought to you by Soul Performance Academy. You can check them out online at soulperformanceacademy.com and across all social media at 717soul. You can also reach me directly at Real Dan Mickle across all social medias or email dan@danmickle.com. All right, this Focus Friday, we are going to talk about video. Video. And it seems pretty commonplace nowadays that most coaches or teachers video their presentations, their practices, their competitions. My question or this discussion isn't so much about how to video or what we video. It's more about how we actually review and what we're looking for in that video. Because I think that is where we are falling a bit short. And what I mean by that is, what do you look at? Let's start with coaches. What do you look at when you video? Are you looking at things to improve on your team? Are you looking at tactics, skills, all of that? Or are you actually looking at how you're coaching? And I think that's where we're falling. I think we need to look a little bit more at how we deliver, how we are presenting ourselves, how we're presenting our information. And that's where the video can come in. Now, I'm not saying that we're solely videoing for that reason. I'm just saying I don't know that we take the time and review it enough to say, wow, look at my body language here, or I'm trying to demonstrate this, or I'm trying to explain something to my team, and look how they're all scattered, or they're not close, and they're not paying attention. I think sometimes we get hung up on the video and talk too much or think too much about, okay, are we doing this skill correctly? Are we running this play correctly? And the same goes for those in educational space, whether you're lecturing at the college level or you're a kindergarten teacher. If you're videoing your lessons, and I get that there may be some lines that you can't cross where you're videoing live lessons with the kids and all that, but if it's for internal review, maybe your policy is okay with that. But if not, maybe you can record yourself without the classroom, going through your lessons. But are you telling key points when your back is turned because you're writing something important to the board? Or are you losing your students in certain sections of your lecture? And I think a video review is a great way to look at how you're presenting that knowledge. Now, obviously, my realm is more in the coaching world and not in the classroom, but when I am a speaker, a guest lecturer in the classroom, and it is recorded, one of the first things I do is I go back and watch and, okay, what was I doing at the key moments when I'm really trying to hammer home a point? Am I engaged, or am I, at the whiteboard writing something or clicking and showing a video? I want to make sure that my key points, I'm facing my audience and trying to work with them. And I'll be honest with you, it was really hard because it's really easy as a presenter, someone, like myself, that it took a while to get comfortable with being in front of people that wasn't on the court, situation and speaking. It was really easy to bury myself in the PowerPoint or writing notes. So that was kind of my distraction to keep me comfortable. But I was missing those key moments when I really wanted to drive something home. I was forgetting to make contact with the class, really showing that this is important. I need you to recognize this. And I think that's where video again comes in. With how cheap it is now for cameras and phones and spaces like YouTube or Dropbox where you can store it, there really isn't an excuse not to record unless there obviously are legal issues. In the sport world, one of the changes that we made at our program is we record every practice and we give the access to the players for that. And a lot of times I'll rewatch it to see, okay, were they getting the concepts and, were they running the plays? What more do we need to work on and where might they have been having problems? But to be honest, the biggest value for me personally has been, okay, I need to do this better as a coach. I need to explain this better, or I need to focus them more. Or, when we transitioned from this game to the next game or the next drill, I was chirping commands at them while they were walking. Everyone's back was turned to me, so maybe they didn't hear me, and then I'm getting frustrated because they're not producing what I wanted. And it really came down to how I was presenting it. So I think that's where we need to utilize video a lot more. We've gotten really good at videoing, scrimmages and competitions and scouting video. That's, off the chart. Recruiting videos. But take the time and set it up and figure out how you can video your actual lessons. The other great side effect of videoing every practice or every lesson is kind of get some CYA coverage, right? In today's world, there's sometimes some issues, and kids or parents will bring up, hey, you did this to my kid, or you weren't doing this, or you were ignoring them, and you're like, well, no, here's the video of that lesson, or here's the video of that practice. And as you can see, I'm giving them every rep, I'm giving them every try. So it's a great way to CYA, and to me that's really though just the side benefit. Again, for me, it has really switched from what is my team learning and producing to me watching video to figure out how I can be a better presenter or a better passer of knowledge. In the educational world, I think this is still kind of strange, right? It would be weird setting up that camera and recording every lecture, every classroom interaction you had. But what I can tell you is with a lot of creators now on TikTok and YouTube Shorts coming out has been great for this as well. We have educators that are doing that, and we get to see them in the classroom. Now, obviously, they're doing it from a point of view where you're not seeing the kids, but you can see the lesson plans and see what's going on. And I think it's great that we can kind of see the insight now of how really successful educators are controlling their classroom through this video, instead of, going to these conventions or training clinics. We can actually see in real time and live how this is working. And for me, it really comes down to, a lot of the concepts that we talk on Focus Friday are based on this book right here by Doug Lemoff, Practice Perfect. A great resource. If you are a coach or an educator, I can't recommend that book enough. Just some great lessons. Again, a lot of what we talk about on Focus Friday comes directly from that book. And there is a whole section on videoing and feedback in the classroom for those teachers. Again, not my area expertise, so I don't want to talk about it too much and give some false impressions. But I think there is a lot of opening there and a lot of great things that can be done with video. So again, to wrap this episode up a little bit, as a coach, video everything. We have almost unlimited resources. This little memory card right here that goes in your camera now holds more than probably every bit of knowledge I had from 1-year-old to 16-year-old that I've ever used. So you can film and store it on YouTube, make it private, come back and watch it later. But there's really no excuse. Put it on your phone. Our phones are basically now mini production studios. And just record your lessons. And again, you can use it for all the other benefits, seeing, if your team's functioning and doing what you want. But really take some time to watch it and see how you're presenting it. How are you as a coach? Give yourself some video feedback on yourself. Not the skills of those that you're teaching or those that you're coaching, but more on you. What's my body language? Am I projecting? Is my team engaged when I talk? Am I putting myself in the right position physically to give some of this instruction? And I think that's just something that has unbelievable benefits that a lot of us are missing the boat on because we just never really thought about doing that way. So that's my challenge to you. If you are a coach, film your next couple practices, but go back and review it from the lens of how can I be a better coach? Not whether or not my team is performing and doing what I want them to do, but where can I improve my techniques as a coach and how I can get that information out. So I hope you enjoyed this Focus Friday. Again, I would love to have some interaction on this topic. So feel free to post in the comments. Please like, share, hit the subscribe button. I don't know which side it's on, but hit the subscribe button on YouTube and let's get this thing pumped up and get this out there, and let's help some coaches and start this dialogue and help the educators. I would love to have more educators chiming in on these videos to get their perspective, because I think there's a lot of similarities, but I think there's some things that we could probably learn as coaches from teachers and professors and educators. So again, at 717 Soul across all social media for Soul Performance Academy, soulperformanceacademy.com, and for my social media, at Real Dan Mickle across all social media, and you can email me, dan@danmickle.com. Subscribe, like, share, Tell me you hate me. I don't know. I just want some dialogue. And I would love to see this continue to grow and help everyone out. So peace, much love, don't suck, and see you all next week for the next Focus Friday.